Now in this video, I'm going to start with Eclipse IDE. We'll start up with what is Eclipse IDE. We'll discuss the features of Eclipse IDE. We'll see why we'll make use of Eclipse, why to make use of Eclipse. We'll see the installation process of Eclipse IDE. We'll discuss two important terms, perspective and workspace. We'll see how to create a project, how to create a class, interface, enum and annotation within Eclipse, and then the conclusion. So we are going to start up with the very first objective, that is what is Eclipse IDE. Now before I start up with what is Eclipse IDE, I want to make this term clear, IDE, Integrated Development Environment. Now an integrated development environment is a software suite that consolidates basic tools required to write and test software. Developers use numerous tools throughout software code creation, building and testing. See, like when we work on a project, there are a number of tools required to develop a project. We require tools for development, we require tools for development, building, testing. So all these processes requires a number of tools. Now, development tools often includes like editors, text editors, code libraries, compilers, test platforms. Without an IDE, a developer must select, deploy, integrate and manage all the tools separately. So we need to type a program in the text editor, we need to compile it from the command prompt, we need to check for the files on the file explorer, we need to test it on different platforms. So IDE stands for integrated. All the tools, these text editors, compilers, interpreters, testing environments, all these things are integrated into a single tool. That's what IDE stands for, integrated. All the tools are there in one screen. So you don't have to go to different places to compile, interpret, debug. All these things can be done in a single place. And there are various IDEs, Eclipse, IntelliJ, BlueJ, NetBeans, all these other IDEs for Java. Eclipse got started in 2001 when IBM donated 3 million lines of code from its Java tools to develop an open source IDE. So that's how Eclipse got started in the 2001, and it was an initiative from IBM. Now today Eclipse is managed by the Eclipse Foundation. It's a non-profit organization which is managed by CA Technologies, IBM, Oracle and SAP. Now one good thing about Eclipse, in 2006 Microsoft announced it would join the Eclipse Foundation and support the integration of Visual Studio by giving Eclipse developers full access to Visual Studio Team services. So this is something good for Eclipse IDE. Now what are the features of Eclipse IDE? Now it's the best IDE to develop Java technologies. Now it gives you easy and efficient project management tools, like Eclipse have got plugins for SVN, Eclipse have got plugins for Git. So all these plugins can be installed in Eclipse and can be used. It gives you an excellent support for Java development. Now you can write bug-free code not only for Java but also for C and C++. Okay? While typing, it gives you the list of errors. You can remove those errors. It gives you excellent debugging support. It has got support for multiple languages. You can develop not only Java applications, C, C++, PHP, JavaScript. Web applications can also be developed using Eclipse IDE. It has got a cross-platform support. No matter you work on Windows, you work on Linux, you work on Mac, the IDE remains the same. It gives you the similar options in all these environments, platforms. It has got rich set of community provided plugins. That's one of the very good feature of Eclipse. It has got an Eclipse marketplace where you can download millions of plugins and you can plug in and use it within Eclipse IDE. That's something very good feature of Eclipse that make it at par in comparison to other IDEs. Now why I'm making use of Eclipse? The very first reason why I'm making use of Eclipse is it's the most dominant IDE used all over the world. It's most extensively used IDEs. You'll find majority of the companies making their projects using Eclipse. That is the one reason. Second reason is I want to teach raw Java. Like in case you develop applications using NetBeans, particularly GUI applications, it's very easy to develop. Drag and drop, you can drag and drop and develop those applications. But as a teacher, I want to cover raw Java. I want to teach you raw GUI programming. That's the reason why I'm making use of Eclipse. It's very, very easy to migrate from Eclipse to NetBeans. But believe me, it's very difficult to migrate from NetBeans to Eclipse, though Eclipse has got a bigger learning curve. Now it has got wide variety of plugins. As mentioned in the previous slide also, Eclipse has got a marketplace which has got millions of plugins that can be installed and used within Eclipse. Now, how to install Eclipse? We'll see the installation process. You need to download the Eclipse from this site, eclipse.org. I'll show you the installation process. Now, to download Eclipse, you can move to eclipse.org. So I've opened the site, I'm moving to eclipse.org. Within eclipse.org, at the top right corner, you'll find a button called download. Now, within downloads, towards the left hand side, you'll find Get Eclipse IDE 2018-12. This is the current version. So I've just clicked on download 64-bit. Now, it's giving me a download link. I can download the IDE by clicking on this link. Thank you for downloading Eclipse IDE, and this is how you can download Eclipse. Now over here, what you're getting an Eclipse installer. Now once you have downloaded this installer, you can execute this installer. I've downloaded this installer. Now after downloading the installer, you'll get the screen which is displaying the various types of Eclipse versions available. Now you can see Eclipse IDE is available for Java Enterprise, C, C++, IDE for JavaScript and web developers, IDE for PHP developers. So there are many flavors of Eclipse IDE. So we want to use Eclipse for Java development. So you can select either Eclipse IDE for Java developers or Eclipse IDE for enterprise Java developers. The main difference is Eclipse IDE for Java developer supports only Java Standard Edition, whereas Eclipse IDE for enterprise Java developers supports Java Standard Edition as well as Java Enterprise Editions. With Eclipse IDE for Java developer, you can develop only desktop applications, but with Eclipse IDE for enterprise Java developers, you can develop desktop as well as web applications. So this is for desktop, this is for desktop as well as web. So there's no harm downloading Eclipse IDE for enterprise developers even if you want to work on desktop, because it gives you desktop support plus it gives you the support for web. So it's asking for the installation folder. You can choose the folder of your choice. Like suppose I want to install Eclipse on my machine within say F drive and Eclipse folder. So I've selected F drive and Eclipse. You can choose the installation directory and then finally you can click on this button install. Now this thing is going to download the data and it's going to perform the installation. Now during the installation, it's going to ask for license. To accept the license agreement, you need to click on accept. Then only the installation is going to continue. And once the installation is through, it's going to display a screen like this. It says that Eclipse has been successfully installed and it's giving us a launch button. So the moment I click on launch button, it's going to start up with the Eclipse IDE. Now it's displaying a directory to be selected as Workspace. You can select the folder where you want to keep all your projects. The folder that contains all the projects, it is referred as Workspace. So you can browse and select a workspace of your choice. Like I want all my projects to be stored within F drive, so I've selected F drive. So it's going to save all my projects within F drive, Eclipse Workspace, and then finally I've clicked on the launch button. Now it's going to launch the Eclipse IDE. This is how Eclipse IDE looks like. It is displaying the welcome screen. Now, before starting up with Eclipse, you need to be clear with some terms. The very first term that I'm going to discuss is perspective. Now, perspective refers to the environment settings. For Java desktop development, the perspective should be Java. Like perspective is basically the list of options which you're going to get within the menus of Eclipse. So if the perspective is Java, you'll get Java related options. Like many a times we see those options are not there. The list of options in the menus depends on the perspective you work on. And for Java SE development, the perspective should be Java. How to change the perspective? The option is you need to go to Window, Perspective, Open Perspective, and you can select what? Java. So for Java desktop development, the perspective should be Java. Then only you're going to get the options for Java development within Eclipse menus. So this is one important term, perspective. To change the perspective, you can move to Window, Perspective, Open Perspective, and it's going to display a list of perspective. Now for Java desktop development, the perspective should be Java. Again I repeat, perspective refers to the environmental settings. It is possible to develop Java web applications, Java enterprise applications, Java desktop applications. Now if you want the desktop active options to be activated, the perspective should be Java. And how can you change the perspective? You need to go to Window menu, within Window, Perspective, Open Perspective, and then you can select what? Java. So this thing is going to make the Java options available. Now can you see towards the top right corner, there's a perspective icon defined for Java, and Java is the active perspective. Now as we have installed Eclipse IDE for Java EE, it has got both the options, perspective for Java EE and perspective for Java. Java EE perspective is going to display Java EE options, whereas Java perspective is going to display the options for Java. Here's a plus button. You can also change the perspective through this icon which is there towards the top right corner of the screen. You can click on the plus button, you can select the perspective. So this is perspective. The second important term is workspace. Now workspace refers to the collection of projects. You cannot create a package, class, interface or enum without creating a project, and the folder that contains the project is workspace. The workspace is the parent directory that contains all the projects. You can change the workspace from file menu. There's an option called switch workspace. This is the workspace which I selected when Eclipse was getting loaded. So this is my current workspace, and if you want to change to any other workspace, you can move on to file, switch workspace, and from other you can browse and specify the new workspace. It also displays a list of the recent workspaces. Now how to create a new project? To create a new project, you need to go to file menu, you'll select new, and then you'll select Java project. I'll show you the demonstration. To start a new project, you need to go to file menu, within file you'll select new, within new you are going to select Java project. Now these options will be visible only in case the perspective is Java. I've specified the name of the project. Now the next thing it's asking is for the location. By default, as I've told you earlier, the location is the workspace. The workspace folder contains all the projects. You can select the JRE version. You can click on then next. Now over here you need to specify other details like libraries, order of import. Libraries are external jar files, and the order of import of these jar files, which we are going to see later on. Right now we just need to select the defaults and need to click on the finish button. So now you can see a project has been created and it's visible in the package explorer. Now how to create a package, class, interface, enum and annotation. All these options are available within the file menu. You'll need to go to file, within file you'll select new, followed by new you can select package, class, interface, enum or annotation. Now be careful, the perspective should be Java. Now to create a new package, interface, class, enum, annotation, all these options are visible over here: package, class, interface, enum and annotation. And we have learned these things in this sequence only. So if you want to create a package, select package, like suppose I'm specifying the name of the package, com.say/vedisoft.say/java module 1.examples. Now one thing to be taken care of is the package should be stored within the src folder. The package should be stored within the src folder. Now you can see I've created a package within the src folder. To create a new class, the option is file, new, class. So I've created a class called first. In case can you see the name of the package mentioned over here? Now in case you want to have a main function within the class, you can check this option, public static void main, and then you can click on finish. Now over here main function is there. You can just type a message over here, system.out.println println. So I've displayed the message saying hello world. Now it looks too small. If you want to change the font, you can go to Window, Preferences, General, Editor, Text Editor. Over here you'll have font option. I've just changed the font so that it's visible. Now, to execute the active class, you need to go to Run menu, and within Run you can select this option, Run. It's saying if you want to save the class before launching, yes, I want to save it, and always save the resource before launching. I don't want to again and again save it, so I've just checked this option. Now you can see the output on the console window. It's going to display a message saying hello world. Can you see that? Now you can see the shortcut for runners. You can also press Ctrl plus 11, say F11. So if I press Ctrl plus F11, again it's going to display the output. Now in this case, in case it contains some errors, it's going to display an error message. Can you see the red line is being displayed over here? So you can just rectify the error, and you can again press Ctrl plus F11 to execute it. Similarly, you can create an interface, File, New, Interface, like say I've given my interface. Interface will be created. To create enum, you can just specify the name of the enum. Say I want to create an enum by the name color. And likewise, if you want to create an annotation, you can select annotation. Say my anno. The only thing that needs to be taken care of is the location should be src package, src folder or its subfolders. Now it is also possible to pass command line arguments like I want to pass command line arguments to this file first.java. What you're going to do, you can just right click over here. Within right click, you'll find an option called run. Within run as, you'll find an option called run configuration. So over here, can you see there's a tab for arguments? I've specified the arguments, say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm supplying these 4 arguments to a class called first. I've clicked on apply and then close. Now to just check whether I'm getting these command line arguments, I'll just write a small code. Say string s :args. Sysout is the shortcut for system.out.println. I'm just displaying the value of s. Now if I press Ctrl plus F11, can you see these command line arguments will be displayed over here. So this is how you can pass command line arguments within Eclipse. So what all things we have seen in this video, we have talked about what is Eclipse IDE, what are the features of Eclipse, why should we make use of Eclipse, how to install Eclipse. We discussed 2 terms, perspective and workspace. We have seen how to create a project, class, interface or enum within the Eclipse IDE. So any doubts related to these videos, any things, any suggestions, any inputs, you can post down below my video. Thank you.